Howdy folks, how we going? I'm in the brewery. It's the second last day of 2023. About to head down the coast. So I'm going to do a quick wrap up on the year. Brewery of the month turning into, sort of brewery beers of the year. Just a quick one. We'll get a Patreon draw on in a minute, so we can finalise that for the year. Thank you to all the patrons of the channel. You guys keep this channel going, keep the experiments and the playing around happening. If you're interested in Patreon, there's a link down the bottom. A couple of bucks a month gets you some inside info, chances of some prizes, extra recipes and things like that. Anyway, I'm going to keep this relatively short and sweet. But before we do that draw, let's talk about, I'm going to get to my top, it was going to be 5, but it's actually ended up being 7 commercial beers of the year. My top 5 breweries that I've partaken in this year. So this isn't necessarily just my top 5 breweries, but it's the top 5 breweries that I've tried over the last 12 months. And 5 beers that have stood out from the home brew for this year. So anyway, let's get into it. While I'm doing it, I'm drinking a hazy New Zealand pale from Goodland Brewing. This is, I think, possibly the first beer I've had from these guys. It's not going down too badly. But anyway, the top 7 commercial beers of the year. This is working from the bottom of that list up. There was 5 beers I rated at 4.25 this year, which is pretty high for me. That's a good rating. That's a good rating for Little John. You're watching up, you know that's a good rating. And they were the Duchess de Bourgogne, Flanders Red Farmhouse Ale. Really nice brew from the brewery of Hague. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, but yeah, certainly a beer I wouldn't mind getting my hands on a little bit more of. Aragon IPA from Valhalla Brewing down in Geelong. Now this is a slight variation. There's different versions of the Aragon. This is the limited version. It's not the basic. It's not the base Aragon. This one they do on a limited run. The base Aragon's still quite a nice beer. This one was just really. I've had it twice, and both times just 4.25. Ladder to Heaven, Mountain Culture, a hazy IPA, New England, 4.25. Yeah, these guys are known for doing really good beers. I don't drink a lot of their beers. For me, the quality isn't there, doesn't justify the price that they charge, but I think this was just a one-off. I grabbed it. It might have been one of the sort of lower price ones, but it was really nice, and it sort of stood out for me as a level above where Mountain Culture generally sit. I think they're the most overrated brewer in the country. They're good, but they're not as good as they're rated as. Mind you, there's a few breweries sitting under there that I haven't really explored that might justify why Mountain Culture is sitting on top. But anyway, 4.25 again. Let's go to Queensland for the brew from Bacchus Brewing, from Ross up there. Peanut Brittle Imperial Goza. Again, 4.25. This is a bloody delightful beer. Big. It's got all the things you want in a big strong beer. I can't remember what it is. I've seen recall being somewhere around 11% ABV. It was intense, crazy, over the top, and I like that in some beers, and especially when they work as well as that brew did. That was a beer I sat down and shared with Maddie Ursak on a day that we shared another beer that's also going to make this list. Next one is a Mecca Coffee Stout, which was from Batch Brewing, 4.25. Again, another bloody really nice Really nice brew. Obviously best stout I've had for the year. Had some nice stouts during the year, but this one stood out, was just really, really good. I don't know whether it's a regular or not. Never looked for it again. It was just a one-off can that I grabbed with a mixed bunch of stuff. So, but thumbs up. Top two beers, 4.5 points out of the 5 each. And the first is that one I just mentioned about sharing with money. That was Once More Into the Fray from Deeds, the base beer Imperial Stout of that series of beers. We're actually looking at sitting down on Australia Day this year and drinking the rest of that series, which we were meant to do last Australia Day. So they're now got a little bit more age on them, but that was a really really nice beer. Well, much of the league ago. There's the stout of the year. I'm telling you, just sat and then said the one before was stout of the year. But anyway, on the top of the pack, still only scored the 4.5, the same as the Deeds. But for me, this was just a beer that just stood on its own. Dark Wild Ale from Ida Brewing, who I've just found seem to be sitting now as their own independent brewery. They're contract brewers. They're from down in Melbourne. They're a wild brewery. This is a hard beer to get. I've tracked down. I've been put on lists down there. I've not tried anything else from them. I really probably should, because this was just an absolutely delightful beer. Sour, yes. Funky, yes. Beautiful, fucking absolutely. But there it is. There's the top 7-5 beers. So let's get this bloody quick draw out of the way here. See who the lucky Patreon is. Now I know there's 2 Patrons waiting on prizes, but I've been absolutely hammered with work. Tomorrow's my last shift. I'm off. I've got a couple of weeks off. I will sit down next week and I'll get some stuff sent out to you directly from suppliers. I just haven't had a chance. I won't have a chance to get the post office, so you will have stuff coming out. Abe McDonald, you're the man. So, Abe, prize coming your way. Again, thank you to all the Patreons. Moving on. I said, this isn't the top 5 breweries, it's my 5 breweries I just want to point out from the year that I enjoyed. And as I said, these are mostly newer breweries, one's a little bit older. Anyway, Reckless Brewing, over there in Bathurst. You've heard me talk about these guys a bit during the year. They've got a little bit to do with Mike and Buller Creek out the road, where I've been lucky enough to get out and do 2 brews this year. Hopefully we'll be doing more in the next 12 months. But they're pumping out some really nice beers. If you get a chance to try them, certainly do so. They're getting around to becoming easier to pick up. They're getting wider spread. Behemoth Brewing / Chur. Out of New Zealand, it's a brewery I've not had a chance to try until about mid-late-ish in the year, or somewhere around bloody springish. And yeah, really enjoyed the couple of beers that I had from them. I've got a mixed 6-pack in the fridge, which I'm going to take away on holidays with me. I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, if you get a chance to get on their beers, have a crack. They do sit in that slightly pricey bracket, which is what's put me off them before. But they've slipped into a little bit of beer hug packs, which has made them a little bit more affordable. Dangerous Ales down there from Milton on the south coast of New South Wales. These guys are making good quality brews across the range. I don't think I've had a beer from them that I didn't enjoy, and I've had some really good ones. So they're worth looking at. I think they're getting a little bit more growth, a little bit more widespread on distribution. Paling Brothers, these guys I think are out of South Australia. Had a beer hug pack. I don't think they're a particularly old brewery. They haven't been around for that long, and made some really nice beers, certainly worth checking out. And 612, who I've only just finished the last of their beers that I had here yesterday. Half a dozen mixed brews, and again, yeah, all good quality, well-made beers. They're only a relatively new brewery too, so well worth keeping an eye on because they're only going to improve and get better. So I said, no, I'm not going to the big fellas and the big players. We know who's there. We know what they do. You know, me and the breweries are the same as me and the beers. Try different things, play around with different things. That being said, let's get into the 5 home brews for me that stood out this year. Had a couple of wonky brews this year. Playing around with a few different things. The chai PA, which was a chai spiced IPA. It's an idea I've had for quite a few years. Finally had a crack at it. It wasn't great. I may revisit one day, but yeah, who knows. Couple of little trial brews on the side that didn't particularly work out. I had a West Coast, failed miserably, and something else didn't go Something else didn't go particularly well. I mean, aside from extracted Gansers and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I stuffed up the first go of the bloody East Coast Haze. That was alright. But the Triticale Ale, which was a playing around with some Triticale, which it didn't work. But anyway, these 5 beers did. And I said these are the standout beers for the year. Going to start with the Christmas Pale Ale, which is only just brew day video's only just dropped. It was only on keg just before Christmas. It's drinking really well. There will be a tasting video of that come later in January. I'll leave that till after I get back on holidays. I was hoping to squeeze it in, but it's not going to happen. This year's Loaded Dog, again, it's always a good beer, a easily drinkable Australian lager. This year's was no exception. Lost its way a little bit. In the previous 2 years we started, well, it did work into that Great Northern sort of nonsense, but a bit more on track this year. Drinking really well. It's on the tap, drinking really nice with split with the 2 different yeast strains. This one's been getting a bit of a bashing from the son-in-law, the New Zealand Pilsner. It's been getting a bit of a bashing from me as well, I've got to admit, which is handy because I had 18 litres of it. One of the few brews I've brewed all year, it actually was 18 litres of a straight up brew. That's a really nice drop. If you are looking for a nice, more modern, new world style bloody lager or pilsner, go back and have a look at that video. It's a really good beer. Going right back to Straight A last year, Straight A Recover Ale, the Red Gum Smoked Amber, bloody really good beer. I'm going to be brewing that again in the next 12 months. Not sure exactly, actually won't be too far away, probably be leading into autumn. I'll be brewing that again with just a little bit of a tweak based off last year's brew, but that was a really good beer. I really enjoyed it. Every time I drank it, I really enjoyed it. But the standout for me, and not necessarily from the flavour, but from the brewing and the idea of the whole package of it, of creating a beer, having the idea, creating the recipe, delivering that recipe, and then having the tasting, is the BFO Stout, without a doubt. A few patrons got lucky, a few other people around got lucky enough to get a bottle of it. 12.3% Imperial Stout. It was a big beer, it was a big drink, it was bloody really nice. I've got about 4 or 5 bottles of it left. I will be taking one of those out to Maddie's on Australia Day. We're basically having the plan is just to have a day of Imperials all day, big Imperials. which is fantastic. Hopefully it's not going to be 40 degrees, but that's our baseline, so that's going to go out there as well. But that's it. That's where the beers were. So it's ranging from, yeah, nice simple pale ales right through to them bloody wicked imperials, and that's the whole brew for the year. That's where everything's done the same thing. Got to say overall, I think I've picked up more interest and enjoyment in sour wild brews this year. I've sort of pushed them away for a long time. Hadn't really got into them this year. They've like within the brewery and within commercial beers, they've come into their own. You know, I've stepped up the wild side of the brewery myself. So that's had some dimensions to, you know, the whole picture around here. It certainly, you know, stands to say, you know, don't just blanket yourself to certain styles. Get outside and try, you know, get outside your comfort and try different things. You know, you might just surprise yourself what you find you really do enjoy. But anyway, that's it. 2023. It's come, probably gone by the time most people are going to see this video. But either way, if you get it beforehand, have a happy new year. 2024 is coming. It's more of the same. There's less of some things. There's going to be more of other things. But the channel's going to roll on, pretty much in the same vein. Brewing beers I want to brew. Doing some extravaganzas and doing some experiments. That's what Little John's about. So anyway, comments and questions down the bottom. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. If you are, thank you very much. Like I said, Patreon's down there if you don't mind bloody, yeah, helping out the cause. And if you just like the video and what's going on, give me a thumbs up. But anyway, that's me. I'm Little John. You're not. This is the end of 2023. I'll catch us next year when, I don't know, we'll be brewing beer, drinking beer, or talking beer. Till then, good brewing.